And here we are with, what's your name?
Tom Hudson.
Tom. And Tom and his wife are doing the Treffen in their fiberglass buggy, the entire Treffen, right? They are hoteling it along the way as probably 50%, maybe even a little bit more of.
A little bit higher, I don't know, but all the buses seem to camp, but they've got places
Right.
to camp.
Yeah, so there are quite a few people that are doing hotels and restaurants and packing sandwiches for lunch on the side of the road. And Tom and his wife have headsets for constant communication. When they're in the Manx Club, on the Manx Club runs, those headsets double as radios, so they can even talk to the other cars. Tom's got his camera set up. He's got a secondary one for his phone. Now, Tom's got his, I'm going to call it a luggage rack.
It's a toolbox.
It's a toolbox like every Volkswagen owner will carry.
Yeah.
Tom's toolbox. All right.
Toolbox and my wife's laptop.
And the computer. All right. He's got it connected under there. Can you guys see that? And Tom, tell me the story of what happened in Northern California.
Well, we were got as far as Arcata, and we noticed that oil was leaking all over the place, so we found out it was the axle boot, and then tried to find a place drove to several places that were online, and finally the last one we went to said, oh, I know of a couple places, and he made a couple phone calls, and then he finally did the one last call. He said, I have one more place to call, and so he called, and the guy had an axle boot. So we took his one and only axle boot, put it on, and here we are.
And the guy with the axle boot, does he own a shop up there?
He has a shop for himself. He doesn't do other people's buggies, but pretty much does his own. He had a bus and a square back and a couple other things, I think, so in a buggy.
I'm still smiling. You can't see me, but I'm grinning from ear to ear, because basically what you're telling me is you called a couple of shops. One of the guys at the shops knew a guy that lived around the corner who said, hey, there's a guy down the street that might have one. Just
Actually, it was about 25 miles away, so it was about a half-hour drive. We had to go back the wrong direction to go get it, but he was close enough for us to go get that axle boot because there was no other place around there to get one.
And you got the axle boot through the Volkswagen air-cooled telegraph community.
Pretty much.
That's a great story, Tom. Thanks for telling it to us. Thanks for showing us your Manx.
Sure.
Let me ask you a couple more questions about it real quickly. How long have you had it?
About 7 years.
Okay. Did you build it? Did you buy it built?
It was barely running. The wiring was hanging off of the fuse panel. A couple wires were holding it up. It used to just swing under the dash. So I took all that wiring out and rewired it with a Rebel wire kit. And had the cage built and the Baja bumper. A bunch of other stuff. So, and the fiberglass still needs a bunch of work, as you can see. But the holes need to be filled. But I'm working on a brand new one. So this is a clod hopper. This isn't a Manx. So
Okay.
This is a clod hopper clone or whatever of a Manx.
And with your clod hopper, you're welcome into the Manx Club, right?
Oh, yeah, no, they welcome anybody that has a dune buggy. So
Anybody dumb enough to own a fiberglass
Yep.
buggy or dune
Yep.
buggy can join the Manx Club. It's pretty easy. Even I'm a member. I love that club. Have a good time with everybody there on their outings.
They're great. I'm trying to get the Manx Club to do this whole event, similar to what
Yeah,
the Treffen
I've
is.
seen that crop up a couple of times on the discussion board and whatnot.
No, I would love to do this for the Manx Club.
Okay, well, we are at day 7,
Yeah.
morning 7 of the Airhead Parts Treffen 2023. And every morning we all rally in some parking lot somewhere that's been predetermined. It's on the internet under the itinerary schedule, and everybody is slowly starting to pull in. And we've got Enrique
Andre.
over here.
He made it again.
Yeah. Enrique, any breakdowns, any problems?
Oh, no problems. All the good ones.
Nice. Good morning, Sally. Where were you guys? Were you guys camping last night? You camped last night? Okay, at Laguna Seca.
Yes.
Isn't that a great campground? Everybody's welcome. There's so much room there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Plenty of
It's here, the same place.
There you go. Now, I see it says extra vehicle on your tag.
Yes.
Somebody else got the campsite and you partnered up with somebody else
Yes.
to be in that campsite.
Yes.
So they didn't have any reservations. Somebody else had a campsite. Sometime yesterday, Sally and Enrique gathered up with somebody else and said, hey, can we stay in your campsite? And they said, sure. And that's what happens often on this Treffen. So don't worry about reservations. You just kind of get them along the way. Everybody's here to help you. If you got a VW, it's a fantastic journey. Hey, how many times have you been on the Treffen? One time.
And I enjoy it.
We'll be back for sure. Lovely people.
All right.
And the view is amazing.
Right? And
Yes.
every Volkswagen is unique.
Oh yes.
This is Dave. Dave's from Florida. Dave went from Florida, drove up to Boston, spent the 4th of July in Boston, dropped off his kid, and then drove across the USA in his Westfalia. So let's see if we can't talk to Dave just for a second here. I'll ambush him as he gets out of his bus. And Dave had a little bit of a problem the other day with his shift coupler. Is that correct,
That
Dave?
is correct. But you know what? The part was sourced by one of our fellow Treffners. Other people gave guidance on how to install it. Bentley Manual was helpful. YouTube helped. But it was really the people in the group that truly helped, came together. That's what this is all about.
So
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, sir.
Right, good to see
Good
you
to
again.
see you. I'm glad to catch up with you. We've been passing
I
by this
know.
entire time.
I know.
I caught you when you were replacing your clutch cable in the parking lot just to make sure that you had all the parts for it, because I know sometimes it's like, oh, I can't believe I forgot that one stupid clip.
Right.
So I just
Fortunately, I had it all. It worked out well. And again, it was a team effort. So
and the part that you didn't have, which was a separate part, so we're talking about two different parts. Dave's clutch cable went out, so they replaced it in the parking lot at the morning meetup, just like this. And then later on, a couple of days later, his shift coupler went out, and Dave didn't have an extra shift coupler, but somebody else did, and basically handed it to Dave, long story short, and they installed it.
yeah, I put it in at like 6:30 in the morning. Took about 10 minutes. It was great.
That's fantastic.
So next time, have a shift coupler with you. It's an inexpensive part. Buy the good quality German one if you can. It doesn't take up a lot of room, but it'll save your ass.
Well, and Catherine texted me that she was with you and that you needed a shift coupler, and I have one, and I was behind you. And I told her that. I don't know if she extended that to you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I didn't
Nope.
know. Yeah.
I have a brand new German one sitting in my parts bag because it went out on me one time on the road, and I will never be without one again.
Right. That's what it takes. Sometimes that's what it takes. A little kick in the ass to get you to fill the parts bag with the right stuff.
But even if you couldn't find the person that had it, I was coming up behind you. I was going to be behind you in the next 20 minutes with the shift coupler in the hand.
Oh.
So
Well, much appreciated.
not a problem. Yeah, this is a fun time, and I highly recommend it for anybody. You can jump in for the entire session from Port Angeles, Washington, all the way down to the Mexican border, and you can come in and out. You can start with us in Astoria and jump back out to go home in another stop. You don't have to do the entire trek. Fun time, really, really good people. Junkyard Dog Garage. Thank you for watching. I'm out.